Good morning, students. On behalf of Alpha Matriculation Higher Secondary School, I welcome you all for this digital journey. So, today we are going to start with the chapter 1 Computer Languages. Today, in this video, we are going to learn about the various types of computers, that is, computer hardware, and various types of computer software, and the various types of languages that computer can understand, that is low level language like machine language and assembly language, and also the difference between low level language and high level languages. First, we will learn about the hardware. So computer is a hardware. So computer is an electronic device which can process a huge amount of data at a very fast rate. At very fast, it can able to process a huge amount of data. The computer is programmed, it means it is developed to accept the data. The data is the input. So what are all the input we give to the computer is called the data, and it process the input. So it process it into a useful information. So we give the data as the input to the computer, it process the data in a meaningful form, and it produces the information as a output. So this is the process of computer. So how the computer works. So the computer stores the information in a storage devices, so that we call it as a secondary storage. So we divide the computer into two types. So one is general purpose computer, and the another one is specific purpose computers. This is the information processing cycle of the computer. So we have told that we will be giving the input, the data as an input, and it process as a useful information, and it produce the information as a output. So in between, while processing, it stores the information, it stores the data in the secondary storage devices. So we told that we divide the computers into two types. So general purpose computers and specific computers. So first we see about the general purpose computers. So general purpose computers has the ability to run a large variety of programs. Programs are nothing but applications. Say for example, any gaming application, whatever may be the process or application that run in a computer, we call it as a program. So general purpose computers has the ability to run a large variety of programs. It can able to run wide number of applications. So the computers that we use either in our school or at home are general purpose computers. So on the other hand, specific purpose computers are designed specifically or pre-programmed, or already it is pre-programmed, already it is pre-designed to handle a specific task, to solve a specific problem. For example, onboard computers on a modern aircraft, say for example in aeroplane or in any helicopters, so it will be designed, the system will be pre-designed, so that computers we call it as a specific programmed computers. It do some specific task to solve a specific problem, so that computers comes under the specific purpose computers. Here you see the general purpose computers are further classified like a supercomputer, mainframe computer, mini computer, and microcomputer. And that microcomputer is further classified as desktop, laptop, and tablet. That is tab which we use. And also the mobile phone also comes under this microcomputer. So The general purpose computers are classified or divided on the basis of the size and the processing capacity. So some of the computers may work or may process more application or more program. So based on the size and the processing capacity, the general purpose computers has been divided. We have seen the classification. So first we will see about supercomputers. So supercomputers are the most powerful type of computer. So those computers are very huge in size and it is more costly to buy. So but can do complex problems and can able to solve more complex mathematical calculations at very fast rate. So those computers, those supercomputers can able to solve more complicated mathematical calculations or can run many application or many program simultaneously and at a very fast rate it can able to process. So supercomputers execute programs, that is applications, at the fastest possible speed. So that is the advantage of the supercomputer, and the disadvantages is huge in size and it is more expensive. So supercomputers are used in weather forecasting. So weather forecasting reports are generated with the help of the supercomputers, and also in nuclear energy, nuclear power plant, they do research and development with the help of this supercomputer because they all deal with huge number of data. So that is why they use supercomputers. And next one is mainframe computers. So on the classification, the next level is mainframe computers. So mainframe computers are also very fast but have some lesser processing speed when compared to the supercomputer. When comparing to the supercomputer, the mainframe computer will process with less speed. So mainframe computers will also execute multiple programs at the same time. The only difference is it process with lesser speed when compared to the supercomputer. So mainframe computer can also support several input output devices to work simultaneously and also serves thousands of users. Thousands of users can work at a time in the mainframe computer. So the purchases made on online stores like Amazon, Flipkart, so all these companies will use mainframe computers through a network, through a connectivity of mainframe computers, which helps the user to connect, to log on simultaneously, to log on continuously and simultaneously without any interruption, without any disturbance in their online purchases. Next one is the mini computers. So mini computers are smaller, little smaller in size when compared to the mainframe computers, and also it has the capacity to do the multiple process and can work and can support anywhere from 4 to about 200 users simultaneously. They are slower than when compared to the mainframe computers. So mainframe computers are slower when compared to supercomputers, whereas mini computers are slower when compared to the mainframe computers. So this mini computer differs. So what is the difference between the mainframe and mini computers? Differences in size, amount of storage, and the processing power, that is processing speed. So the online ordering of food items might involve logging in onto a mini computer as an online user. So the Swiggy, Uber Eats, so all these companies will use the mini computers because very less number of users will log in simultaneously. And next one is the personal or microcomputers. So personal or microcomputers, we have seen that the desktop computer, laptop and tablets and even the mobile phone will come under this personal or microcomputers. So personal or microcomputer are much slower and support only one user at a time. So first we see the desktop computer. So desktop computer, we all have it in our home. So desktop computer is a personal computer in which CPU will be there, that is central processing unit will be there, and the screen, the monitor will be there, the keyboard and the mouse all are will be in a separate units. So it is operated by using an external power. So that is we called as a desktop computer. And next one is a laptop computer. It is a portable computer. Portable means we can carry anywhere. So which can operate using an external power source, and also it has an inbuilt battery. So it has an integrated CPU. The CPU will be inbuilt and the screen will be there, and keyboard and mouse all are integrated. All are combined into a single unit. And next one is a tablet. Tablets are tab or hand sized computer. So they have no keyboard, and the screen, in the screen you will be having the keyboard, and the screen acts as an input and output devices. In the screen you will be able to see, and also you will be giving the input in the screen only by with the help of the virtual keyboard. So this is all about the general purpose computers. Till now we have seen about the computer hardware. So now we are going to see about the computer software. So the hardware of any computer system cannot operate on its own. So it needs some source to work. So in order to operate, it requires some instructions or the program or the coding. So that we call it as a software. So a software, it operates the hardware, the set of instructions that tells the computer, that tells the hardware what is to be done with the given input data, and that we call it as a program. So one or more programs makes the software. So software is a combination of one or more programs. So software can be defined as a collection of programs, and we divide software into three types. So first one is a system software. So system software which are designed to run the computer hardware, and they acts as a interface. It helps the hardware and the user application to work, combining the both hardware and the user application. First one is a system software. So system software is mainly developed or designed to run the computer hardware. So it makes the computer hardware to work, and also it acts as an interface. It fills the gap between the hardware and the user application. And next one is a application software. So application software is the end user program. It means that the user program, end user is nothing but the user who uses the software. So those user who uses the software directly, we call it as a end user. So end user program, like it may be a Word document, it may be a Excel document, or it may be a PowerPoint presentation, it may be any application, it may be even it may be a gaming application, whatever may be, even the Swiggy application, whatever the food, online food purchase application, even the Amazon, it is an application. So whatever application that the user uses, we call it as a application software. And last one is a utility software. So utility software or just a add-on programs, so additional programs to manage and maintain the computer resources, like antivirus program. It may be an antivirus program to protect the computer, and also any backup software. In case if you are using a huge number of data, you need to back up the data or you for safety purpose. And any recovery software in case if any data lost, so we need to recover. So like that recovery software, all these comes under the utility software, that is the additional softwares. And next one is the computer languages. So computer languages, the computer can understand only certain languages. That is, it may be a machine language or assembly language or high level language. So computer languages or programming languages is a set of commands or instructions used by the computer programmer, used by the developer to make a software in order to communicate with the computer. So for communicating with the computer, this programming languages are used. So each computer language has some certain unique symbols and characters. So based on that, there are almost 200 languages are there. So now let us see how the programming languages are classified. Here you can able to see how the programming languages are further classified, further divided. So first generation language that they have written as 1GL. So first generation language we call it as a machine language. Only zeros and ones are used for computer understanding. Computer can able to understand only zeros and ones. These two number only the computer can able to understand. And next, in the second generation language, that is assembly language, that is mnemonics. They have used certain codes, certain short forms for the abbreviations, and they have used that in the assembly language. And in the third generation language, that is high level language, they have developed certain languages which both the user and the computer can easily understand, that they have named as Fortran and Pascal and C++, Basic and Java. So all these languages comes under the high level languages where the user and also the computer can understand easily. And next two generation languages we can also call it as either very high level languages or it can be called as a natural language. So those languages in fourth generation language, very high level language, they have developed Microsoft Access and APL. So these two languages comes under the fourth generation language. And in fifth generation languages they have used artificial intelligence, that fully based on the natural language, based on the voice recognition software. So when we speak, the computer can able to understand what we speak, and based on that speech recognition software, it accepts as an input and process the data. So that is the fifth generation language. We have seen that programming languages are classified into 5 generation computer languages. So the first 2 generation languages will come under the low level languages. So a low level language is a set of instruction or a set of code which are commonly called as machine codes. So these low level languages are easily understandable by the machine. Here machine refers to the computer. So first generation computer language, that is the machine language, is a programming language which can be directly interpreted. Interpreted means just converted by the computer hardware. It is made up of the combination of binary numbers, collection of binary numbers, that is 0 and 1. Binary means bi means 2, so 0 and 1s. So it is a combination of 0 and 1. So these language, the data will be converted into, interpreted into 0 and 1. In earlier days, the binary coding, has to be done manually by the punched cards, with the help of the punched cards, because there were no keyboards. So they have used punched cards. So the binary coding has to be done manually by punching. So even the binary coding is done, the small calculations will take more time. Even it take months to calculate even a small calculation. So that is the major disadvantages in first generation computer language. So because of this, it is so expensive, and so many error occurred because it is done manually by punched cards. So checking instructions to locate error was even more very huge process, and it take more time. So time consuming than writing them. It takes more time to write in the punched cards. Next one is second generation computer language, that is 2GL, assembly language. So assembly language, it is started in the early 1950s to overcome the difficulties faced in the machine language. So these languages operated with the help of the simple codes and some instruction sets, group of instruction. The instructions are grouped, which has more than 200 instructions, and the operation codes and the operands. Say for example, a plus b. So here a and b are the operands, and plus is the operator. So likewise, the operation codes and the operands were given in the form of alphanumeric, combination of alphabets and the symbols, known as, we called as a mnemonic codes. We call this alphanumeric symbols as a mnemonic codes. Instead of zeros and ones, they use mnemonic codes. Therefore, it is very easy for the programmers to write the programming instructions. Even though the programming instructions are very easy for the programmer to create, the computer finds very difficult to understand. So they have developed a assembler or compiler which converts the mnemonic codes into zeros and ones. So both the programmer and the computer found very easy for understanding the mnemonic codes and also the binary digits. Assembly languages helped in saving more time, and the errors are reduced, and also it is used to solve the errors. It is used to rectify the errors, and the coding time was still consuming because the mnemonic code is to be converted into binary and then the computer must process. So the coding time was still consuming. So these languages also computer dependent, and for different brands of computer, the assembly coding language may differ and they modified based on the brand of the computer. And next one is the high level languages. So the remaining three generation computer languages comes under the high level languages. So the third generation computer language. So the limitations that are found in the low level languages leads to the development of the high level languages. So these high level languages are independent of the computer, whereas the low level languages are dependent, where these high level languages are independent of the computer in use. And the computer languages in the high level language uses the English words and the mathematical symbols, whereas in low level language they use mnemonic codes, the short form, whereas here they use the English words and the mathematical symbols, and each instruction in the high level language is translated into many machine level languages or instructions, where the computer can easily understand with the help of the translator programs. They use translator programs, whereas in mnemonic codes they use assembler or compiler. The mnemonic codes is converted into binary digits, whereas here the high level languages is easily converted or easily translated with the help of the translator programs to the computer. A program written in high level language can be translated into many machine level languages. Unlike assembly programs, high level programs could be used with a different makes of different brands of computers. So with a little or no modification in the languages. Whereas in low level language, each and every brand of computer has separate assembly language. Whereas here, the high level language, we no need any modifications based on the brands of the computers. The reprogramming expenses is fully reduced in the high level language. So in third generation, they have developed the some of the languages like basic, Fortran, COBOL, and C++, Java. So all these comes under the third generation computer languages. Even Python, Ruby, and Perl are some of the advanced third generation computer languages. And next one is the fourth generation computer languages. So the fourth generation programming languages are very easier to use than the third generation. So they are very closer to the human language, like natural language. That's why we told that these fourth and fifth generation are natural language rather than the high level language, and therefore can be used by the people without the formal training as a programmers. There is no need for any technical knowledge. Any programming knowledge is not necessary. Just a common man can use the fourth generation computer language. And most of the fourth generation languages do not have any fixed format to code. Therefore, the users and programmers just indicate the results as they want. Whenever they need, they can create the language, create the program with the normal natural language. And the computer shows the sequence of instructions that will achieve the results. So the computer shows the instruction, the sequence of continuous sequence of instruction, the continuity of the instruction based on the results. And they have user friendly interfaces. So the computer will have user friendly interface. There won't be any difficult in using the programming codes or use any difficulties in the using the programming languages. Those languages may use a text-based environment, as in third generation. So they use common English words and mathematical symbols, and also they use visual environment for with the help of the graphical tools. The fourth generation languages have helped simplify the programming process. It simplified the programming process with the help of the visual environment and the text based environment. And some of the programming fourth generation programming languages are the database software package like DBase, and even the Microsoft Access. Even the advanced third generation programming languages has also been plays a major role in the fourth generation like Python, Ruby, and Perl. All these combined with the fourth generation computer languages. And the last one is the fifth generation computer languages. So the fifth generation programming language is a logic language. It has some logic behind it for processing. So it is a high level, very high level programming language that solves the problems using some conditions. Based on the conditions, the problem will be solved. It automatically, the automated system. So thus the program is used, and even the algorithm is written. The algorithm is nothing but a set of instruction, set of codes, predefined codes. It will be already written. Based on the conditions or the codes, the steps, the problem will be solved. So that's why it's called as a logic language. And these languages mainly used in the research work, research R&D. They call it as research and development. So with the help of the artificial intelligence. So some of the languages are Prolog, OPS 5, and Mercury. So all these comes under the artificial intelligence and comes under the fifth generation computer languages. Thank you, students.